Chris Jericho delivers an awesome promo and he's called out Pinnacle. We are finally getting the blood and guts match. We're going to talk about it in just a second, so stay tuned. This is the Elite Maniac podcast. What's up, people? Welcome to the Elite Maniac podcast, where we discuss all things AEW. My name is Mex, aka WrestleManiac UK. Alongside me today is my co-host Mike, aka Kings Road Wrestling. We've got a really interesting show for you today, talking AEW. A couple of key things went on. Like we said, Blood and Guts has been announced. We saw a heel turn in the main event. How can we forget? And even Ty Conti, her run continues. Shida at ringside with Dark Order. What was that about? We're going to get into it in just a second. So stay tuned. But please, before we do, remember to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button as well on the channel. And for all our audio listeners, please make sure you subscribe and follow us on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a 5-star review as well. Mike, how's it been going, my friend?
It is going great. Happy WrestleMania week to all our followers out there. We have an action-packed week of all wrestling. Happy collective weekend to all our indie fans. And of course, the house always wins on Friday, the AEW house show. So really good week for us fans here. And we at Elite Maniac Podcast hope that you guys are having a great week.
100%. Just on the house show, did you see? I don't know if you saw this, but Cody, I think it was last week or so, someone asked him on Twitter, would you ever run a show during WrestleMania weekend? And he said no. He replied on Twitter saying no, that is lame. That's their weekend. Let them do their thing.
When was this? Like last year?
Last week. Literally.
Wait, why did he say that?
Exactly.
Well, I guess Friday night's not really their thing, right? Or is it?
Well, it's not. SmackDown is going to be on, but like, isn't that weird?
It is really weird.
Did he forget the date of when the house show was, or what? Like,
dude, I don't really understand this whole concept of this whole thing. Like, if they had a special edition Dynamite, it would probably draw pretty well. And there's fans already in Florida, so why not do that? Why is it like not recorded?
Yeah, they're trying to gain from the live crowd, isn't it? So they're trying to just get the
but you can only have 1,000 people in Daly's place. So how much money is that really? Like, I don't understand this. They're like, some people are talking about it might be on like YouTube, some of the matches or PRI, but I haven't heard anything about it. So as far as I know, that no one's going to be able to see this unless you go.
It
right?
is very weird. It is very, very weird, especially like you're saying, how much money they're really going to make from only 1,000 people. And
not enough.
Like, and then they're pretending like, oh yeah, we don't care about WrestleMania weekend, we're not riding the back of that, but you've put it right before night one of WrestleMania, so
which is understandable. Just
from a business point of view, 100%. There's gonna be people in the area, why not? But just say it exactly.
And promote it.
Ring of Honor, Impact, they've all done it. All smaller promotions, they're all doing it and have done it before. So I don't know why he's kind of running from being affiliated with it or whatever the case is. I just thought it was weird. I just thought I'll bring it up to you because I know you're not on Twitter much, but
he's main eventing it.
Yeah, probably.
He is. He's facing Solo. Yeah, he's literally main eventing this house show, which makes it even more weird.
Cody. Wow.
Man, Cody. Yeah, Cody, man.
He's our favorite person, isn't he?
Yeah.
He wasn't on this week's show of Dynamite, which is interesting.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Very interesting. But I think it's about that time. We've had a bit of a chit chat. We've spoken and teased what's going to come up on the show. So let's talk about it. Let's talk AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, this was a show that went up against NXT Stand and Deliver, which was on I think it was on TV and also on Peacock, and I've been trying to watch a little bit more here and there of some of the takeover shows, which are very, very solid. Really, I can't deny that. So this was just counter programming, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But AEW did their thing, NXT did their thing, and both had their place. And I thought that AEW tonight was pretty fun. It was a nice little show. I enjoyed watching it. It had some pops. So that's really all I can ask for. There were some really, really great segments, though. I can't deny that. First of all, we saw the Inner Circle come in. They started off the show, and they had all these like sports cars, big Cadillac Escalades. They rolled into Daly's place, the parking lot, came out decked out in black leather. So you knew from then that this whole like goofy Inner Circle thing was done. And honestly, like let's just end that, because that sucked. Like, I did not like the Orange Cassidy feud with Jericho. I didn't like all these shenanigans. Like, they're not the Good Brothers. They work when they're cool. They got to be a cool team. You know what I mean? So that's just my 2 cents. Like, obviously Stadium Sin, this was like the golden era of the Inner Circle. But after tonight, we're going to talk about it. But I think that they are edging back towards that. We started off the night with Hangman Adam Page versus Max Caster, which was, I appreciated this match, for those that don't know, because Hangman's number 1 in the men's rankings, and Caster, I think, is number 3. And I've always said this, there's a lot of debate with the rankings, whether they're good or not. If you're going to do the rankings, follow the rankings and actually do these kinds of matches like we saw now to determine who's the number 1 contender. Don't just like throw people out into the mix. So I appreciate that they actually opened the card with this. And what I got to say from the Acclaim is that I really, really like this team. I really like Max Caster, and I really like Anthony Bowens. I don't know about what you think about them, but they just, like, in my opinion, were like oozing charisma and like personality. I just really like the Acclaim. I really like Bowens especially, but Caster's also, man, what do you think about them? Let's get your opinion.
They are a weird couple. Like, they are a weird pairing, but it weirdly works. Like, it's so crazy. Like, this guy comes out and does his raps. Obviously, that's been likened to 2002, 2003 John Cena. Bowen comes out, and every week when he comes out and does this, hey, Daly's place, AEW, the Acclaimed have arrived. I'm literally laughing at the screen saying, why is this man shouting into a microphone? And obviously today, when he was doing it, or yesterday, sorry, Hangman Page just knocked him out whilst he was tired of it. And I actually laughed my head off, because I'm thinking, about time someone shuts this guy up. They're good, super talented, 100%.
They were a good pickup.
They're going to be great single stars one day. Brilliant team. But there's something so weird about them, but it works.
It definitely does work. And I agree with that. They can be good singles. We've already proven that Caster can go as a singles competitor. I mean, he did really well in the Revolution ladder match. And last night he did really well too. Bowen's actually from my area, not too far away in New Jersey. So got to give him a shout out. But, Caster started out, did this like rap thing. He said, I'm going to catch Hangman Page slipping like Joe Biden on the stairs, which is, that's a great line, man. I'm surprised that they approved that, but that's a great line. And, this match was solid. These two went back and forth, and it wasn't really a squash match. It was actually pretty back and forth and even. I thought that they did really well, though, and there was a couple near falls. There was a couple times when I thought that Caster was going to get the win. They were messing with the boombox. Bowens kept trying to interfere. So, these guys really work well as a tag team with their dirty heel work. At the end of the day, though, Page did a huge springboard right hand. So Caster jumped off the rope. Page punched him in the face. But then Bowens, he slipped Caster these chains. He hit him hard. And this is what Cena used to do. So I do see the comparisons with Caster and John Cena. He hit him hard, but it didn't get the pinfall victory. Obviously, Page was smarter than that. He fought back and hit the buckshot lariat, got the pin. So solid match. Hangman Page, I think, cements his place as number 1 in the division. But shout out to the Acclaim, right?
No, 100%. They are, despite the loss, They're kind of climbing up within the ranks. Obviously, like you said, Castor is third in the rankings. Just a really good team. Hangman Page looking strong. We're kind of waiting to see. Double or Nothing is the next pay-per-view. Is it going to be Hangman versus Omega? Or are they going to dodge this?
No, they
can't
pretend? Do that.
What, do you think it's too early? Or
yeah, because Kenny's going to win the Impact title on the 24th.
Mate, I don't know whether how they're gonna drag this out, maybe to All Out, and then Hangman wins there.
Yeah, why is he number one right now?
Exactly.
That's so stupid. I think it's going to be Christian.
I don't want to talk about the rankings because you know how I feel about these rankings. But
here's what's going to happen.
Go on.
I'm gonna stop you there, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I know what's going to happen. I am a genie right now. Hangman is going to face Christian Cage for a number one contender spot. Cage is going to go over. Cage is going to face Omega and lose. But I think that's going to happen. I don't think that they can go with Kenny versus Hangman yet. It's way too early.
Or maybe the Double or Nothing match is actually a rematch for Rich Swann. Everything on the line could be a rematch for Rich Swann.
Oh man, I like that for sure.
Because that is the one thing that they can put in there, which would buy them time.
Because we have to give this guy a shot first. Before it's only fair. Our friends over at Impact. I like that idea.
That's the only thing that could buy them time and make sense. And I don't think anyone would complain if Christian ran through the rankings now and got to first, despite him obviously losing. I think people would complain. No one would like that. So Rich Swann is the safe option that could be like the interim option until Hangman gets his chance.
Or maybe one of the New Japan guys too. A lot of them are in the area, I know right now. That could always work. Ibushi just lost the belt, so is he really going to be doing anything?
We shall see, innit? We shall see.
Yeah, shout out to Will Ospreay. I know that he's big over in your neck of the woods, but we love him here in the States too. And man, I don't know if you saw that match, but that was crazy, crazy good.
I did. I'm going to Rev Pro show in July.
Oh, really?
So I'm hoping that he is there. I'm hoping he's still champion. He's obviously Rev Pro champion right now. I'm hoping he brings the IWGP title over there as well, and he is present. I've got my ticket. Man. I'm waiting for that.
That's awesome. So he's going to Rev Pro. I'm going to Indie show at the end of the month. So a lot of fun stuff going on. So how about this video package that we saw right after this match with Mike Tyson? And I doubt that you would know who this guy is, but this is Urban Meyer. He was the coach of Ohio State, a football team in the U.S., and now he's working for the Jaguars. So they were kind of pulling out some stops here with some of the celebrity appearances because he's huge in America, and we saw him and Tyson talking. So I was just pumped up for that. But before that whole thing happened, we saw Tony Schiavone face interview the Death Triangle, Pac, Phoenix, and Penta, and they were getting their shot next week for the AEW Tag Team Championships. But before they could really talk about this, the Best Friends came out. Orange Cassidy is a known and proven ratings boost. So, they really were pulling out everyone. Like we said before, he came out and actually had a microphone, and they kind of talked about some stuff and said that they haven't forgot a few months ago their feud. They beat up on him after Revolution during the match of Orange Cassidy and Pac from last year. The Lucha Bros beat him up, and they haven't forgotten that. And Chucky T was referencing the past between them. I don't know if you remember this, but months ago they were like, let's have a street fight, and it never happened.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So Pac was like, you're not getting a tag team shot. And Trent was like, all right, we're not asking for one. We're just saying be aware that we're here. So I don't know if that was a reference to that thing that they forgot about, or they're just I'm not really sure what to think of this, to be honest.
So remember before the show, before you went live, I was saying some parts of the show was flat. This is one of the parts.
This is a flat part.
Because...
wah, wah, wah.
Exactly. Because it's okay, the Death Triangle looking all menacing. Yeah, they're going to have their opportunity next week. But then these guys, Orange Cassidy, best friends, Chris Statlander came out. Okay, we don't want to fight you. We don't want to tag team championships, but just know we're here. It's like, okay.
Why didn't they just say, let's have the street fight?
That's what did they come out for? That's the whole point, the whole question.
I would hope to do that because I thought it was cool if they didn't forget storyline. I mean, I don't know. This is like
it was just a bit flat. It just didn't seem to really have a purpose. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I guess that they were there because it was a live audience and people want to see the boys. They want to see Phoenix and Pac and Penta and Orange Cassidy. So maybe it was for them.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really make much
sense.
Oh,
yeah, someone last night, and people have way too much time in their hands, really. Like, I know I do put a lot of time into this. I know you put a lot of time into this, but I saw on Twitter, some guy was like, I wrote down every single person who appeared last night on Dynamite, and there were 75 people from the roster who came in. First of all, like, that's crazy. Well, props to that guy. But yeah, there were a lot of appearances last night.
Yeah, like you said, they're just like kind of throwing people out, see what sticks. What does the crowd react to?
Yeah, as opposed to over in the land of the Capitol Wrestling Center, which seemed like a pretty tight. Here's the card. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it could get like that. I'm not saying that NXT is superior anyway, but this was a pay-per-view, so you knew who you were getting on.
Yeah, it was different shows stage. Last night for sure.
Yeah, completely different shows.
But after this, I think probably the segment of the night, if not maybe the QT Marshall one, these two were like kind of up there for me, but it was the Inner Circle return. And I'm just going to say flat out,
this was the segment, by the way. It wasn't the QT Marshall.
I like the QT Marshall
segment. No, I love that. I love that segment as well. It just wasn't the segment of the night.
This was the segment. We'll go with this. This was the segment of the night for sure. I will say this, though. This is the Jericho that we saw last night. This is the Jericho that won the AEW World Championship. This is the Jericho that formed the Inner Circle. This is the Jericho that had one of the best feuds with Jon Moxley, one of the best feuds with Kenny Omega. This is the Jericho that everybody wants, not Jericho from over the summer, not Jericho with MJF. And when these guys came out together, Sammy Guevara being back, man, I thought to myself, I hated MJF in the Inner Circle. I know he's a heel, but I don't think he helped at all. I think it sucked with him in the Inner Circle. Like, this is the OG core group, and stick with that. Stop adding members. Stop taking away members. These are the guys.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like, I get why MJF was there, done what it needed to do. It didn't last for too long, I don't think. It just done enough. He left. He started his own thing. Let's get back to the essence of Inner Circle. They're big baby faces now.
Yeah. This was their first baby face entrance. They were getting really cheered from everybody, and Jericho really just owned this promo. He went down every single member of the Pinnacle and trashed them, pointed out their flaws. He went down every member of the Inner Circle, pointed out their strengths, and he just basically, when it came down to it, delivered a killer promo. He sounded awesome. They looked awesome. And he says they're back and they're not like taking crap anymore. Like, they are back to the purpose for when they started. And man, what was better than this? Nothing really. This is the Inner Circle that we all love.
Yeah, this was the best thing that could have happened on the show. Chris Jericho owning the mic, doing what he does best, like the trash talk, top promo, like you said, running down these guys. What did he call MJF? Something jack off.
Jerk off.
Yeah, he said, was it my jerk off friend?
My jerk off friend.
Yeah. So, just that is Jericho calling the Pinnacle pineapple, trying to probably get the crowd to get that, becoming a thing. He's so good when he's on this kind of form. This is the Chris Jericho that we all want. And he's obviously got a lot more in the tank. Them calling out the Pinnacle for the blood and guts match is what I love. I love when baby faces aren't the ones, being bullied into positions, being bullied to take matches, but they're the ones kind of setting the stakes. I want this. I want to meet you here for this championship or whatever the case is. They did exactly that. If you saw in the back, Hager, Hager was absolutely in awe of Chris Jericho. He was like, he said this and
I didn't even know. I gotta look
loving it. Like Hager was like, love struck eyes at Chris Jericho at all the great promo work he was doing. Everyone else was kind of keeping a straight face and looking tough, but Hager was giggling like a little girl. It was so good. But yeah, man, this was a really good segment.
Yeah, this was awesome, man. And I might get some hate for this, but I commented this on the AEW post from the official Instagram last night when they posted this. I said, I would not mind if this Jericho won another championship. Now, I'm not going to say which one it is, but a title run with him, maybe Sammy. Dude, this is like top. Like, this is Alpha Chris Jericho. This is 100%. Alpha Omega. Like, maybe not even a title. Maybe another feud, Alpha and Omega match 2, Kenny versus Jericho. Maybe another match with Moxley. Like, yeah. I just hope he doesn't lower himself again to try to push over new talent. He's done that already. Okay, it's time for him to like go out with a bang.
And besides, for him to do that again, he has to build himself up a bit if he is to do that again. He can't do it from the position where basically MJF squashed him and now he's down here and now he has to build up someone. He's got to get himself to the top of the mountain again somehow before he then tries to bring someone else to that level. So
for sure.
Yeah, it was a great segment.
And Jericho, again, like you said, he's so good at telling stories. He's so good on the microphone. He crafted this statement. He said that the beatdown that we got from the Pinnacle was actually a good thing because it was a wake-up call. And he apologized to the crowd. He said, we're sorry for some of the mistakes we made. We're going to do better, and we're going to get to the top of the mountain with you guys, the fans, at our side. So
I was
officially, baby. Yeah, he apologized. This is awesome.
I've never seen, in all my years, I've never seen Jericho apologize for shit. And when I saw him apologize, I was like, I had to double take it at TV. Am I still watching Chris Jericho? But yeah, it was good, man. It was good.
It was good. Have you ever seen the Busted Open Radio thing with him when he talked about the glow sticks incident?
I can't remember. I think I've seen the interview, but
yeah, dude, it's so funny. I don't know why I just thought about it, but it was when Jericho told everyone he was like IC champion, and he was like, "Come on, throw the glow sticks at me." They were like DX glow sticks, and they all threw them at him in the crowd. And then Shawn Michaels went backstage and was like, "Oh, you're gonna get sued. Why would you do that?" And then he was like, "Stephanie's pissed at you." He's like, "I don't give a fuck what Stephanie thinks. I don't work for Stephanie." Dude, Jericho is just so funny, and there's just so many great moments of him online. Now he's doing this Stone Cold thing. Like, I just can't get enough of this guy when he's like this. Really, that's when it comes down to it.
GOAT, man. He is GOAT level. Like, honestly, like when it's all said and done and his career's wrapped up, we're gonna look at Jericho like this guy really made stuff happen in this industry. Like, he right now. He'll never be called when you're calling the Rocks and the Cenas and stuff like that and Austin's. His name doesn't sit with those guys. But when it's all said and done, Jericho is going to be remembered in this thing, honestly.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And he definitely deserved it. We love him here. But that wasn't the end of Chris Jericho tonight. So we'll get into the next segment in a little bit. But we had a Christian Cage promo. It's a pretty good quote from him, actually. He was questioned about his match last week with Kazarian. He said, Frankie took him out to the deep end of the water, pushed me so far underwater that my lungs burned, and I loved it. He said that everybody thought that Frankie Kazarian had the better match, which was what we said last week. But he said, that's his style. He is here to make wrestlers level up, but he always gets the win at the end. But Taz interrupts him and invites him to be part of Team Taz. So what's your take on the current state of Christian Cage with this segment and this Team Taz thing?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hear a lot of what Christian was saying. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't paying attention close enough. But I didn't hear it. But now that you said it, that's why I laughed. The fact that he said that, I push people to their limits, but then I win in the end. So I guess you take it how you want it, but I'm happy to see Christian in this capacity, and that's about it. This whole thing of him trying to join Team Taz, I guess that's going to be him putting over someone in Team Taz at the end of it. Maybe Ricky Starks. That could be really fun to watch. because Ricky Starks is obviously a great talker as well. The promos between those two could be good, but yeah, he's not gonna join Team Taz.
No, he doesn't need a faction.
Yeah.
Factions are good if you're a veteran, if you're the leader of it, or really high up. You don't need to like join it if you are already like an established star. That's what happens in New Japan. Like there's leaders of it, and then basically all the other guys are young.
Yeah,
Christian's not young. He doesn't need this. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with this. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but maybe something with Team Taz, rack up another win for Christian Cage. I don't know. Maybe Christian versus Brian. Christian beats Brian and Brian's done with Team Taz. That's a way to get him out of Team Taz. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Next match we had, which wasn't really hyped up that much on Instagram or online, but I thought it really should have been because it was a cool crossover between the Godzilla versus Kong, this new movie that's coming out on HBO Max and in theaters in the States. Godzilla versus Kong. It was Bear Country as Kong, so it was kind of like a movie crossover, and Jurassic Express as Godzilla. I thought they could have done like a little more with promoting this because that's how you bring in the casual fans, as when you intertwine elements of wrestling and pop culture. So I hope they continue to do stuff like this, but it just needs to be more promoted. But this was a pretty solid match. It was like a fun match. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst, but it was cool to watch. And it was, in my opinion, it's just interesting. It was a fun match. That's really all I could say. I can't really say anything bad about it. It was cool. What did you think?
Yeah, like you're saying, it wasn't like anything that
groundbreaking.
Run home or groundbreaking.
yeah.
Scream about those guys, Beer Country. They don't scream AEW to me, which is a good thing because we don't want too much of the same type of wrestler, if you see what I mean. So it's good to have a bit of variation, but they definitely don't look like they belong to AEW. But they don't yet.
I'm not sold on them 100% yet, though.
Yeah.
Last night helped a little bit, but I'm still not sold on them.
Yeah. But I think the variation in the tag division could be good, so they could bring something different. One thing I really wanted to speak to you today about when I was watching this was I'm beginning to get bored of Luchasaurus.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of a change. He had that opportunity when they demasked him, remember, to come out with something new. He's so good. He's so strong. He's big. He's unique. He looks awesome. I think that Jurassic Express should shake it up a little bit and maybe come out with something new.
Bro, when AEW started, I hadn't seen any of Luchasaurus's previous work. I knew he was in NXT for a short piece, very early into NXT's days, but that's about it. I know he's been on Lucha Underground and stuff like that, but I didn't know who this guy was.
Me either.
Seen him in AEW and I was taken aback. I love an agile big man, or someone that can, he looks like an absolute beast, but he can move, and Luchasaurus can go. And I found a lot of the stuff that, him, Jurassic Express were doing early on was really funny, kind of comedy mixed stuff, but then at the same time, they were a serious team. And then obviously you have Jack Perry, which is just a star in the making alongside him. But right about now, Luchasaurus ain't ticking the boxes for me, man. He's like you said, when they cut off the horns and FTR cut off the horns, they had the opportunity to kind of rebrand him some way, somehow, whether that's without the mask or just a brand new mask or a brand new creature. I don't know. But they had the opportunity to do something and it went under the table. I remember seeing a couple of weeks ago, I think it was on Dark, a botch between him and Cesar Bononi.
That was bad.
Was kept in the show. Yeah, it was kept in the show. And then obviously there was a bit of a botch. I don't want to make too much of it on the night, this match, where I think Jack Perry was being held by one of the guys from Beer Country. And I think Lucha, what's his face?
Soros.
I lost my head. I'm so angry. I've lost my head. Luchasaurus was meant to like jump into this guy's arms, but I think he didn't catch him. Maybe
he missed. Yeah, man.
He missed and he dropped. And I'm just my heart is just sinking because I thought I like this guy. But recently, man, I'm getting tired of him.
I think that what would help for him is maybe he's kind of a edgier, darker character.
100%.
He's like fun loving, and everyone loves Jurassic Express. But how cool would they be if they went over a little bit to that side? Maybe just something new. And I think this guy's also good enough to go singles without a mask.
Yeah, he is. But maybe they're just biding their time with him right now. There seems to be, a queue of people they kind of want to get through first. Yeah, I don't know. I'll keep positive, but Luchasaurus is he's on borrowed time for me.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're like really getting up there in numbers with the roster and the shows. Like they really need, they're creating a universe.
Yeah.
Not as big as the WWE universe by any means, but any stretch of the imagination. But they are creating this whole world, and they desperately need a second show. This is just too much to do in
Tony Khan
said
the other day. He said the other day on Busted Open that he's got another hour of TNT.
That's great.
Coming soon. So
let's get that as soon as possible, because it's hard to keep up, and you can't keep putting everything on YouTube because it's hard for people.
Yeah.
But I digress. We'll move on to the QT Marshall promo. Another one of my favorite things of the night. QT is one of my favorite stars in AEW. Everyone that was saying that this guy was a jobber, I don't think that they're saying this now, because you know what? He could talk. He cut a great promo on Cody Rhodes, which honestly, like, everybody loved it. Everybody has been saying this for years now about Cody. He said that Cody has fake credentials. He said that he hid under face paint as Stardust. Then he got fired and surrounded himself with vanilla midgets on the indies to look good and to get over, which was brutal. That was awesome. He also said that this whole do the work thing is BS. It's only do the work for Cody, which was another hit. Yeah. And then he went down and said, this is my team. It's my squad. These are my boys. He said, Aaron Solo is not just someone's boyfriend. Boom. There we go. I wanted to hear that, because everyone's, oh, that's Bailey's guy. That's Bailey's ex-boyfriend. No, this guy's actually pretty good, and now he's going to show you. He said Nick Comoroto's not just a big guy, and then Anthony Ogogo got on the microphone, and he goes, "America is shitty. I'm from the United Kingdom, and everybody knows me there. I'm a gold bronze medalist." I know my accent's not that great, but I love the English accent, and I think Anthony Ogogo is cool. So QT says that this is his factory, not Cody's. He built it. And then Nick Comoroto throws a bucket of paint on the logo of the Nightmare Factory. Were you like into this at all, or is it just me like marking out behind the television?
This was awesome.
Yeah,
this was brilliant. This is it's a unique way, especially because it was just a matter of weeks ago where they kind of debuted Pinnacle in the middle of the ring. So that this doesn't look exactly like that, they've done it in the factory. The factory is their home. That's where these guys all come from. And then factory is, belongs to QT Marshall. It makes total sense. They've done it in their stomping grounds, their home, and great dialogue throughout. You broke it down. Great dialogue by QT Marshall. We saw Ogogo get on the mic, someone that a lot of us Brits have been kind of that follow AEW waiting to see, okay, is he ready now, sort of thing. Am I right in saying they said he's going to have his first match next week?
Yeah, he's in action next week. I have the card for next week written down right here.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. It's probably going to be, some jobber that they give him.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it, because this guy, he is an Olympic medalist. So it's going to be good. They package him right. If they make him look like a boxer when he comes out as well, not too much of a boxer, but, like, just give him some kind of
a fighter look.
Yeah, a fighter look. That could be very, very interesting. But I'm looking forward to these guys, man. It is about time.
This is a cool group, and I like it. So everybody out there is saying that AEW has too many factions. Yeah, but this isn't one of the many. This isn't one of the factions that I think is a problem in AEW. I think it's going to be cool.
I honestly don't care. Factions is wrestling for me.
Yeah, me too, dude. That's what I like.
That's the one thing. When I started watching NJPW, The one thing I took to this straight away is because there was LIJ, because there was Chaos, because there was Bullet Club. That's the one thing I thought I can get into this. I didn't understand a word that was being said apart from when the Americans were on the mic. But I said, because of all of this gang warfare, the factions, I could get into this. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, man, I think it's cool, the factions in AEW and New Japan, because it's like you get to pick a team, kind of like your favorite Premier League team. You get to pick them, get the merch, cheer for them, follow them, get behind them. It's kind of like a sense of community. So I really like that instead of just a single wrestler. And man, it's always cooler to wear a faction T-shirt like the Inner Circle than just like marking out for like wearing a Cody shirt. In my opinion.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's a little weird. Like for us, we're a little bit older. Like, I don't know.
No, it's true. It is. It's definitely true. And like we're saying, it builds that community. You're still supporting the entire show, but this is the one thing in that show that I really like. Sort of.
Yeah,
like,
this is my team.
Yeah, it's my team. So yeah, they're cool, man. Definitely
a cool analogy. We'll get through the Sting promo. I mean, he came out doing his weekly thing, I guess. Jake Roberts came out and said, like, why do you keep doing this? This is insane. Like, why do you keep doing the same thing? Lance was like, came out, was like, I need my time. It's my time. And then Sting grabbed the mic and was like, you keep saying this. You have every ability in the world. Why do you keep making it to the main event and then fading into oblivion? Like, do something about it and stop complaining about it on here, which was cool. Yeah. Good point.
It was definitely necessary. And at the same time, if I'm correct, it probably turned Lance Archer back to like a face character because he came out all aggressive and all heelish, but then by the end of it, it's like, no, let me hear Sting. I've got, I want to hear what you have to say. So yeah, maybe he was just kind of tweenering for the last couple of weeks, and now he's a face again. Obviously, we saw what I'm going to call right now these two jokers up in the stand in Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. What the hell is this?
I don't know, man. Sky, like, I saw and I was like, get out of the screen.
You know what? I it's harsh to say because I know these guys are following, instructions somewhat, but Ethan Page, when he turned up at the last pay-per-view, I just thought, what a waste.
No one cheered for him. Yeah. Maki Ito got more of a pop than Ethan Page. Let's be honest. Like, I was there, so
yeah, I literally said, what a waste, because there is so many people occupying the same space that he's going to go into in AEW that are better than him. So I don't know why he would come on a full-term deal. Scorpio Sky,
multi-year.
Yeah, and Scorpio Sky, I'm just disappointed that we are where we are with him. Like, I'm going to stop caring very soon.
Yeah, he's not that good anymore. I'm sorry. He's just missing something. And this is his second opportunity now. He's like the Spear. At least Spears is like, I mean, Spears has the numbers behind it, but this is a stupid team.
Yeah, Spears has Cody behind him. That's a friend of Cody.
Yeah, so, Spears is probably just like a really good guy. I don't know, like
yeah, I'm just not interested in Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page and Lance Archer. Looking up at them or them, I hope they don't form a faction. Lance Archer doesn't need them.
No, Lance has Jake. He's fine.
Yeah, and that should be how it stays.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll see how these guys crack on.
We'll move on to Darby Allin versus Vader Jr. This is what I was saying with this whole JD Drake guy. Man, the night before on Dark, I was like, he really reminds me of a young Vader. And people thought I was crazy. Then he comes out and he's got like this kind of singlet that's similar to Vader. Yeah. And he's doing Vader's moves. I don't know if anyone could do a Vader bomb, the moonsault. Like, I really like this guy, dude. I think he's got a lot of potential. I would, if I were AEW Creative, put a mask over him or something to make him more dark. Like, I think he has the potential to be really, really cool. I don't know if you thought this too, but he really just reminded me of a young Vader. I can't say it enough. I don't know why.
He is good. He's definitely won me over the longer the match went on. Yeah, there may be something in the way of character that is currently missing. We're not seeing from him. it's fair to say, it's unfair to say it's missing because, he's only kind of been thrusted into this match. I know he probably gets a lot more of a spotlight on Dark, but those are just kind of matches after matches. So we probably need to see a bit more character from him, but in the ring, yeah, he can definitely go.
He can go. I just kind of like he's like an agile big man, like you said with Luchasaurus. But he's even more like he's very, very agile, and I always really like that. And this was a very solid match. I think he won over the fans in the internet community for sure with this match against Darby Allin. Darby really did well, but so did JD Drake. Same thing that we've been seeing with Darby's TNT title matches, though. This guy had him beat for like 3/4 of the match. He was just really killing him and really doing some awesome moves, some brutal chops, some brutal punches. Vader bombs, moonsaults, running sentons, just a myriad of moves on Darby Allin. We obviously saw Darby towards the end of the match kind of counter some of JD Drake's moves. He hit an avalanche code red, which is really cool. And then he hit the coffin drop for the pinfall victory. So Darby won, but very solid match. And I don't know if you saw this, but the reason also I really like JD Drake and kind of likened him to Vader is on Dark. He had a match with Baron Black, and Baron Black split open JD Drake's chest with chops. I thought that was – I love when that happens because that means that they're going strong style in the ring. So this guy's tough. I really like him. I can't say enough good. And I hope they – this is a guy that I would root for more than Ethan Page. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't doubt that at all. Give this guy a character, and we can already see we're gonna get some good matches out of him. I'm not interested in Ethan Page at all. He's gonna have to do a lot of stuff to win me over. I'm telling you, because I'm not really interested in his acquisition to AEW.
I think that he's not going to be very well liked until they get Josh Alexander over here. From Impact to form the North. I mean, that's what they were. They were a tag team. That's like if Nick Jackson signed with WWE, all of a sudden he was alone. It was weird. Like they were like the number 2 ranked tag team from PWI. Like he needs his partner here. It's a little weird. But we'll move on down to the card. Jericho and Marvez had a little bit of a promo backstage, but they got attacked by the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
And FTR does a big rig pile driver on Jericho. They bring him out from backstage to the ring. And this looked like it actually hurt. And throughout this segment, Jericho was like craning at his neck. So I don't know if they went too hard on that. I'm assuming they did. They were really beating up on him, though, for what he said about MJF and everyone. MJF's such a baby, dude. And what Jericho said about him running to the internet to check the comments of what the fans thought of it. And he's a mark. Yeah, he does do that. But Pinnacle had barricaded the inner circle in the locker room and nailed the door shut. So they broke through the door. Tyson's music hits. Mike Tyson's here. He runs to the ring, rips his shirt off, and then just starts, body shotting Sean Spears. And everyone runs out because they don't want to face Mike Tyson. Jericho comes out, stares at Mike Tyson, like thanks him for saving the crew. And then the two hug each other. So Mike Tyson and Jericho have squashed their beef, really.
So for obviously those that know, we heard that during the week that AEW got in trouble for debuting Sting without kind of building it up, and TNT said that they shouldn't do that again, which I think is really bad because
that's stupid, dude.
It's stupid, man. It's part of wrestling, the whole surprise and stuff. And like I said to you off air before we started, I didn't really like the inclusion of Mike Tyson here. I just thought it was a bit pointless. But if Mike Tyson had just appeared to come and save Jericho and the Inner Circle, it would have been a lot better. It still doesn't necessarily make sense
that they announced him being there.
Yeah, when you announce the night before or 2 nights before Mike Tyson's going to be on the show, you're waiting to see what big angle or something that he's going to be part of. This isn't worth bringing him in. But if he just appeared, Mike Tyson's music hit. Obviously, we wouldn't really be familiar with the music anyway. But as soon as the Titron says Mike Tyson, everyone loses their cool. He runs in, tears his shirt, starts beating guys up. Everyone would have loved that. And I just feel like with TNT saying that you can't do these surprises, everything has to be,
announced.
To sell the show and announced. it's really gonna kill them. It's not gonna help.
I don't like this. I'm hoping, and I posted a question thread this week because I was bored, and someone asked me like, "Why do you hate WWE?" I don't want them to fail. I don't want NXT to shut down. I want them to do well. I hope that this move to Tuesday night brings NXT over 1 million, and I hope it brings AEW over 1 million, and then maybe the network will cool off a little bit, kind of get more comfortable, and allow them to do exactly what you just said. Surprises, because that is part. Some of the biggest pops in history, and we all love pops, were from surprise, like entrance from Steve Austin, from The Rock, from Moxley,
Jericho's debut in WWE.
Break the wall down. Yeah, dude. This whole announcing the Paul White thing was cool, but I think they should really, I don't know, work with the network to figure out something, because that's not cool.
Someone like Paul White, they can say he is signing and it could work. He's worked. You see what I mean? Because of the kind of role he was going into. But Mike Tyson being Iron Mike, crazy Mike Tyson, he shouldn't really be someone announced unless you're going to announce him into a massive angle that really matters, He just needs to literally hit his music. He turns up in Daily's place and causes havoc. But, hey.
I agree with that for sure. Hopefully we see some improvements with that. But as of now, they're not allowed to do that. So Mike Tyson was there. That segment ended, and we saw the Allin versus Ty Conti match with -1 on her side. Ty is ranked number 1 in the women's division. Love Ty Conti. Can't get enough of her. I turn my TV on just to see Ty Conti really sometimes. She's just so good. She's excellent. She's beautiful. She's my crush. She's great at judo. She's a great fighter. And she watches Pro Wrestling Noah and New Japan. She was posting about the other. What can get better, dude? So when Ty's on the TV, I turn on the TV. And I think even Meltzer has said what a potential star, that she has everything really. And I think that she had a very solid match. She's a lot better in ring than Allin is. Yeah, dude. She's really improved in the last couple months. Some of the moves that she was hitting were really cool. The two went back and forth until after the commercial break. Hardy got up on the ring and tried to distract Aubrey Edwards. But Tay hit her tie KO. Allin kicks out at 2, which was cool because I think this was the first person to kick out of this new finisher from Ty Conti. Allin hit the guillotine on the top rope, and then she hit Hikaru Shida with the kendo stick because Shida was at ringside cheering on the number 1 contender, Ty Conti, which was an interesting angle. Then she hit Ty with the kendo stick, but Ty fought back, hit a superplex, and then did the DD Ty, which is a hammerlock DDT. She got the pinfall victory. So Ty has beaten Allin, and I think will remain as number 1 for 4 weeks now, a month in the women's division.
Again, when are we going to start speaking of Ty Conti going for her championship match? And, we spoke about this last week. Yes, she's number 1 contender, but the majority of those wins have come on dark. So where do we draw the line? Shida as well, sneaking in with the Dark Order. I don't really know what that was about. When are they gonna book their champion into something serious? It's the same thing. I don't want to sound like a broken record. We ask ourselves this every week.
Say this every week, and I thought of this, dude. When this match was playing, I was literally thinking about it. I was like, what is he gonna? He's gonna say something. I know he's gonna say something about this. I was thinking about it too, because Britt had a great promo. We didn't really get into that too much, but Britt talked about climbing up the rankings. We had a Jade Cargill Red Velvet promo, so elements of the women's division again, what we've been talking about, but no Shida. At least Shida was at ringside.
That's it.
What would you feel about this?
You're forcing yourself to think of something else, but Shida was at ringside. Full stop. That's it.
Shida was at. What would you think about Shida winning a tag team tournament, which is, I think, the annual tag team tournament's coming up with Ty Conti for new women's tag team belts? What would you think about that?
It stinks of WWE.
But they're doing this tournament already, so why not do something for a little more than medals?
I hear that, and I totally trust AEW booking more than WWE. But right now in WWE, we've had a lot of the women's champion being booked in tag team angles against her number 1 contender. I
Charlotte and Asuka, right? And
Charlotte, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. It's happening all over the place. Even Rhea Ripley and Asuka now. It's an absolute mess. I trust AEW way more than WWE, but I don't want to see it. I want Shida to have a blood feud with somebody for that title. That is what the champion should be doing.
It looks like Britt or Thunder is going to come soon. It looks like Britt really wants to climb the rankings. Now, the reason I ask this is because I know this tournament's happening. I didn't really like the medals. Ivelisse, another one of my favorite women's wrestlers, she won with Diamante, and they got these medals. I don't know why they are like cheaping out with the trophy. They did it for the women's eliminator tournament too. I'd like to see something more than a medal. New Japan just did this. They had a trophy for the New Japan Cup USA, and they brought out the trophy, and then they brought out a new title. Like, maybe women's tag team titles would be cool.
I don't mind it. I mean, I don't mind it at all. Anything to get more women involved and more women on the screen, but just don't put Shida in it unless Shida's.
Don't put Shida. Well, you heard it here first. We just want Shida to have more title defenses and good matches.
Yeah,
that's really all that comes down to it. We want to see our champion more on the television screen, more than just as a side role.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about the main event, and then we'll get to the questions. And thank you, everyone, for submitting. We got a lot of questions this week, and thank you for everybody who is listening to us. Make sure to share this, like this, give us a rating on Apple Music. We're really appreciating, and we have a kind of a library. We're just talking about this. We got kind of a library now, 11 episodes now since when you'll be listening to this. So we are getting up there in the content world. So thank you from both of us. But main event time, Moxley teaming up with the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. 6-man tag team match. And for those that don't know the ending, I could see this a mile away.
We said this last week.
Yeah, we said it last week.
We actually said this last week.
Man, who said this? I think that Tony Schiavone said there's lots of stories intertwined with all the competitors. You have the Good Brothers. You have Moxley. You have the whole Impact thing. You have the Bullet Club in New Japan. You have Kenny and the Bucks. It was very confusing for someone who might not know the backstory with everything.
Yeah.
But this match, I can't complain. It was solid. They went back and forth. Doc Gallows, star of the match in my book with Carl Anderson. I love seeing these guys, and I think they're really established AEW stars now. At the same time, I just really like them. I love those hits from Gallows. I love Anderson's ability. The Young Bucks did great too. Kenny did really well, but that is not the big development here. The big development here is when they returned from commercial break. Moxley put in a lot of work on Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was in the ring with Matt Jackson, and it was time for Matt Jackson to beat Kenny Omega. So Kenny was on his knees looking up at Matt. Matt was getting ready to super kick him. Matt stopped himself, and we knew this was going to happen, but he stopped himself. He didn't want to hit his best friend. He thought in his mind what Don Callis said to him last week, that why aren't you the same Young Bucks from New Japan, the heel Bucks, the Bucks that would do anything for their friends? Why aren't you that anymore? So he declined to super kick him. Nick came in and was like, do it. What are you doing? And Matt's obviously the more emotional of the Young Bucks. They go to do the BTE trigger, but Matt can't do it. So Moxley comes in and goes, what is wrong with you guys? Pushes Nick out of the way, hits 2 paradigm shifts on Kenny Omega, and says, pin him, like hit your freaking finisher and end this. Can't do it. Moxley comes back. Young Bucks look at Omega, at Callis, at the Good Brothers, and they choose their friends. They choose the Bullet Club. They choose the history that these guys had together, and they super kick Jon Moxley instead.
Like we said, you saw it coming from a mile away. We said this last week, but it didn't make it any worse. They played it out really well. For long periods, although you thought that, they're going to do it, that you thought maybe they're just going to leave him and just leave the match and Moxley will just lose on his own or something like that. But It's the Young Bucks, man. The Bucks are back. The Bucks are back. The Elite, all of that, man. It's what we love. This is another faction, as some may now complain, but this is the OGs, man. This is the OG faction. So I've got a lot of time for this.
I got a great point to make.
Go on.
I'm geeking out at this, but I'm fairly certain it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And my predictions have actually really been improving. I've been doing pretty well on them. I usually pick just like who I like, but I've been getting pretty good at them. I predicted some like good ones, like the Moxley Kenta match and Will Ospreay. But here we go. They joined back in the Bullet Club, the Young Bucks, because May 4th, Blood and Guts was announced, and that's approaching. Jon Moxley did a favor for New Japan Pro Wrestling and is facing Yuji Nagata for the IWGP US title. That's another thing that Khan did for New Japan. Now it's time to reciprocate that. I think that they came back to join the Good Brothers because some of the Tamatanga Jay White guys are going to have this blood and guts match. Some group from New Japan is going to come over, maybe the OG Bullet Club, and that's the blood and guts match that we're going to get. Maybe
so
Jon Moxley
blood and guts matches, basically.
Well, it was already in. I think that we're going to get the QT versus the Nightmare Factory. I think we're
getting Inner Circle Pinnacle. They announced it.
Inner Circle Pinnacle and Factory versus Nightmare, right?
I don't think that's going to be a blood and guts match.
I think it is. You think it's just going to be one match?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a.
No, I don't agree. I think that they're going to have.
I think we're going to have Pinnacle Inner Circle. And like you're saying, if they're going to have another one, it will be Bullet Club Civil War.
Which is a perfect match.
Versus Japan. Yeah, 100%.
I would really like to see that. Again, just think about Jon Moxley, Yuji Nagata. And whenever Tony Khan has allowed Moxley to work for New Japan, I think he expects something in return because you're using the number one guy in the world and you're really boosting your product. So, I mean, the least they could do is maybe send Kenta, Jay White, and Tamatanga over again, and we have some kind of match. Looks like the Good Brothers, though, are here to stay for a while on Dynamite. This is like a faction, as you said, or a pseudo-faction. It's something. So they're here to stay. But the Young Bucks, after the match, they also did something. They really went to the full heel side by hitting, I think, Moxley again with the super kicks. Eddie Kingston came out selling his ankle injury from the Good Brothers, limping. Poor Eddie. Eddie waddles out, and the Good Brothers hit him with the Magic Killer. And they all hugged at the end and did the little too sweet whoop whoop. That was Dynamite, though, man, and that was the ending. And that is what I love about AEW is this storytelling, this intricacies, bringing back stuff from the past and combining all together. Just a good moment at the end. But, I really I hope that happens with what we just said with some kind of civil war.
Man, because they can't have a whole Blood and Guts pay-per-view or Blood and Guts TV special unless it is just a TV special and it's just one match.
They can't. If it's a TV special, they can't. If it's on BR Live or it's a pay-per-view, I mean, we don't really know right now. It looks like it's going to be.
What day is it? May 5th. Is that a Wednesday? Did you say May 5th?
May 5th. What do you have for that?
If it's May 5th, it's a Wednesday. That's a Wednesday.
No.
So that's just going to be probably the night will be called Blood and Guts. Maybe we'll see the Nightmare guys go up against the Factory, but it'll just be like a nasty tag team match.
But here's the thing I'm wondering.
They're not going to do two Blood and Guts matches.
But aren't there two rings? How are they going to take out the ring and then set up another ring?
So what they usually do in NXT is they start the show with both rings next to each other, there. And then the cage is obviously in the air being suspended. And then they have one match in one ring, one match in another ring, one match in one ring, one match in another ring. And then when it's the Blood and Guts match or the War Games match, they bring the cage down. So that's what they usually do. But yeah, if it's on TV, we're only going to get one Blood and Guts match. If it's a pay-per-view, then we'll probably get two.
We shall see. If it really is a TV special, then I don't know the chance that we're going to get that Bullet Club thing. But I just don't know why they abandoned the whole Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen. They weren't pay-per-views, but they were no commercial specials on BR Live. I really liked that. I don't know why they stopped doing that.
maybe money.
Maybe that, yeah, TNT. Yeah.
It usually is. But yeah, let's get over to the questions.
Let's do the questions. We got a good amount from everybody, so thank you. Want me to start off and we'll go back and forth?
You can go for it, yeah.
Let's start out with Wreck of Wrestling. Good New Japan account. Very nice guy. He asks, which current wrestling industry stable do you think has the most potential?
Potential, as in, I guess they're going to take off and win stuff.
I'll go with Death Triangle.
Yeah. I'm happy with that answer.
I think very soon they'll have a title.
The tag titles are there for them. A TNT title is there for any one of them.
Phoenix too, I think, could win the world championship down the line.
100%. So yeah, Death Triangle.
And they have an opportunity next week, and I think very high possibility that they win the tag titles next week. Who knows? But we'll see. Ty Dunn asks, is the Pinnacle versus Inner Circle feud finale coming too soon, May 5th? Is it coming too soon? Well, first of all, I had tickets to this to go to the one in New Jersey, and they moved it to Jacksonville. So, damn, I lost out on this. Is it too soon? No, they've been talking about this so long.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think it's too soon. There's still about 4 or 5 weeks of TV before we get there. So, how can we say it's soon? So, it can't drag on for too long because, we'll get bored. So, they build for it for the next 4 weeks. That's perfect. That's enough time. And then we have the match.
Yep. You want to take the next one?
Cool. Daniel SH2213, best Chris Jericho promo in AEW.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to think of every promo that he did. There were some really good ones in the beginning of Dynamite when he was forming the Inner Circle and when he had the championship run. But of the last year, yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Y2 Garcia, who do you think will or should beat Kenny for the title?
I have a theory that I have going that I don't think anyone's going to beat him for the title. I think he's just going to relinquish it down the line, like after a year run. Because I don't know, man. He's too big to lose right now.
But that's the whole point.
Dude, he's getting too many titles, though. How is he going to lose one?
Someone's going to get that rub. So Kenny Omega's smarter than just relinquishing it. Unless it's by injury, there is no chance he's just relinquishing that title.
You don't think that'd be dope, dude? If he was just like, all right, I've reigned enough. I'm going to take a break. Here's my title. No one can beat me.
I would enjoy that, but I know a lot of people would be angry. So
we'll go with. I mean, if I had to pick one, I'll go with Hangman.
Yeah, that's what everyone thinks it is. Hill Moxley, when will AEW move to big arenas?
Soon, I think very, very soon we'll start going on tour again, hopefully. I mean, the vaccination rates in the United States are going up, and I think that's just the barrier to it. But for the next couple months or however long it is, it's just not going to be like it was. I mean, we're still going to have all these protocols in. So it could be soon, but this could change. I know you're in United Kingdom. It's gotten better. Then it's gotten worse. Same thing here. Numbers go down, numbers go up. It's just unpredictable. So I'm not exactly sure, but hopefully I'm hoping soon.
The A and James, would we see Mike Tyson as the ref for the Blood and Guts match?
Why not use him as the ref, like you stated?
Yeah.
I mean, he's better. Like the enforcer thing, he was cool as a ref for the DX Shawn Michaels versus Steve, right? WrestleMania, whatever the number was.
14.
Yeah, man. I hope we continue to see him. I'm sure he's a rate. I'm sure TNT wants him back. I'm sure of it. His pay-per-view with Roy Jones Jr. got like 1 million buys, so he's a draw. Y2 Garcia also asks, you think Switchblade is taking the title from Tanahashi? Yes, he's fighting for the never openweight title at Wrestling Dontaku. Yeah. I think Jay will get that title, and then Jay will have won every singles title in New Japan. He's like 27, dude, 28. Nuts.
He's wrapping up there. I think he's ending it soon, man.
You think he's gonna go to WWE?
Not necessarily WWE, but what's gonna be left for him in New Japan?
Yeah, I could see him going to WWE, or I know that they really tried to get him in AEW. but he was signed to a contract. So who knows?
Let's move on. Wrestle in Peace. He says Jericho's promo or QT's promo, which was better?
Jericho, obviously, but QT has a spot. QT's promo was great, and that guy can talk, so props to QT.
Yeah, 100%. But Jericho's was just another level. The Elite Daily, not a question, but Trios titles are coming very soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think we're just it's a waiting game at this point. They're probably already made.
Yeah. Like, it's just the perfect spot to debut them, I guess.
Yeah, all these guys are signed in non-disclosure agreements. All the guys on New Japan too, like they had a new title that nobody knew about because they're signed. They can't talk about it. So who knows?
Sonic Brown 27. Thoughts on Andrade going to AEW?
I don't think he is. What do you think?
I don't think he is, but I think he could literally walk in there and, kind of scatter the place around. Like the likes of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky will be kicking themselves if Andrade walks in because he's better than them. Sorry.
Yeah, he's better than them. I love La Sombra.
Yeah, he's better than them. That's just what it is. So, last question. Hunter sacrifices Longhorns. Do you think the Bucks turning heel will lead to the other Bullet Club in a match?
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Yeah, I think that's the logical reason. That's the one that makes sense, but I don't know, man.
It's hard to say at this point, but it doesn't have to be a blood and guts match. It can be something else down the line. To be honest, there isn't enough heat there right now for it to be a blood and guts match.
Yeah, we need Tama to start really hammering them. He's really the key to this whole thing. And I'm just gonna say it again. I think it's really important, the Nagata Moxley match, because that probably already happened. That means that Nagata came to the United States to film in the LA dojo and then flew back to Japan, meaning anything's really possible with traveling right now. So who knows, but it's a strong possibility. So don't count it out.
Yeah, there is a lot that can come of this new Bullet Club formation in AEW. But guys, that is the show. Next week we're getting Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. We're getting the tag team championship match between Death Triangle and Young Bucks. We are getting the debut of Anthony Ogogo. We are getting Mike Tyson as the special enforcer in the match between the Inner Circle. Is it a tag match? Inner Circle tag match with Pinnacle. So, it's Chris Jericho versus Dax Harwood. That's what it is. It's a single.
Is he in there? He's with Dax and with Sammy, I guess.
Yeah,
like as their set corner guys.
No, they're banned. So the rest of the Inner Circle and the rest of Pinnacle are banned from ringside area. So it is a singles match: Dax Harwood versus Chris Jericho, Tyson as special enforcer. So we've got a lot of good stuff to look forward to next week. And remember, obviously, the show will be running same time, same place. You can catch us here or on your podcast platforms. Please remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and for the audio listeners, hit the subscribe or follow button on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a 5-star review. Tell the people we are doing brilliant work out here on the Elite Maniac podcast. And yeah, Mike, any last words before we sign out?
Goodbye and good night, everyone.
We'll be back same time next week, people. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest